Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we are back for part two of canning Old South lime pickles. This is a Mrs. Wage's recipe. It will be in the description box below this video, and I will also link the first part of it up here. And y'all, this is my signature recipe for pickles, and everybody that has tasted these pickles have always requested a jar of my pickles. So that should give you an indication of just how good they are. And my second recipe is a watermelon rind pickle. I do not know if I'm going to make these this year or not, but I usually make my pickles every other year. It takes us that long to go through a batch of pickles. Now, the pickles came home in a half bushel box, which would be about 48 to 50 pounds if it was a full box. After weighing my pickles, I had about 25 pounds, give or take a few ounces. So we're going to do all of these up. You're going to see this over a 2-day process, starting with day 2 and then going into day 3 to finish off the pickles. I do not rush my pickle process. I am getting older. It takes me longer to do things, so I take my time. And you really want to take your time when making a good pickle. These are so good. They are akin to the bread and butter pickles. They're a little tangier, so I would say they're more like a sweet and sour pickle. And they are crispy, they have a nice crunch, and they hold up very well. I use these in potato salad, I use them on sandwiches, I use them as a side. I would pair these pickles off with a good bowl of homemade soup and some cheddar cheese and crackers, and it is so good, y'all. So after my pickles have been in a lime bath, I rinse them really well. The recipe says to rinse them 3 times. However, I rinse mine with running water, and I really make sure that they're rinsed. And then they will go into an ice bath, and I have speeded this section up for your viewing pleasure and to shorten the video just a tad. Okay, I've got them in my sink and they are covered in water, and I have got them covered with towels to keep any insects or anything that might be flying around in here or dust off of my pickles. And I'm going to set my timer for 3 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up everything else. Okay, everybody, we are on day 3. Yesterday, I allowed my cucumbers to soak overnight just because it was getting late in the day and I didn't want to be up till midnight or past trying to get all the pickles done. So you can do that, just so you know. And I'm going to drain off the water. And I've got a lot of cucumbers that I'm going to have to drain, so. And this pot is heavy, by the way. Always working with a clean sink, clean counters, clean everything. And that soap softens them up just a little bit, and it removes any of the residue that might be on them from the lime bath that they were in. Let me get another bowl for this and we'll be right back. And I'm going to go ahead and get these into this bowl. These were kept on ice all night, so they're nice and cold. And I'm going to keep these cucumbers in this bowl because I'm fixing to get ready to mix the brine. And we're going to let these soak for 5 hours. You can let them soak 5 to 6 hours, but 5 hours is good. Got to get rid of these towels. Set them in the sink for now because they are waterlogged. We're going to move back and forth a little bit. Because I'm working in a tight spot. I'm going to add these over here. And these will be moved away from my pot because that is where all my jars are at and they are processing. So we're going to get the rest of these out of the big bowl. Get them drained off. And get the 2 skates. So, now that they're all drained, I always try to make sure that they're not sticking together too much. With the lime, they like to stick. So we're going to break up a few of them that were in the bottom there that were sticking. And we're going to get them back in the bottom. And y'all, I broke my overhead camera holder thingy. So I'm going to have to replace that. And I'm going to take a few of these out of the first bowl just because this other bowl is a little bigger. And we're going to give these plenty of space to swim, so to speak. And I'm going to get rid of this colander. We don't need the colander no more. We don't need these wet towels. I'm going to get them wrung out and into the laundry. Curiosity, I'm going to check and see how many pounds this is. And that bowl is 6 pounds. So we're going to add a little more to it. We're going to get it a little over the 7 pound mark because I didn't weigh the bowl beforehand. say that's approximately 7 pounds there. And I'm going to weigh the big bowl if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. And it's just under the 7-pound mark. Okay, so we know we got 14 pounds at least, and this one is 11 pounds. So 14 plus 11 is 25 pounds of cucumbers. So 7 pounds is my magic mark. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got approximately 1.5 of the pickle recipe right here in this big pot. This one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little math. We're going to get the brine in this. We're going to set it away from over here at this heat source. And then we're going to move on to the 2 bowls that are exactly what the recipe calls for. For some reason my camera went down. So to the pickles I added 8 cups of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of canning salt, 1 tablespoon of pickling spice of your choice, and then 2 quarts of vinegar. Stirred and dissolved the sugar, and I'm going to allow all of these pickles plus the big pan to sit for 5 to 6 hours in the brine, and then we're going to move on to getting these ready to be canned, canning them, and showing you the end product. So this is what they look like in the brine before they're pickled. Drain half of the brine into this big pot, and I'm going to bring it to a simmer for 35 minutes. Then I'm going to pack the cucumbers in hot quart jars, pour the boiling syrup over the slices and leave a 1/2 inch headspace. Remove the bubbles, adjust the lids to finger tight, and of course I'm going to wipe the rims with some vinegar. And we're going to process quarts for 15 minutes, pints for 10 minutes using a boiling water bath method. I'm going to be using Superb canning lids. These are made by the Amish, and they're supposed to be a better quality. This is my first time using these. We purchased them recently from Yoder's store that is local, but you can also get them at Lehman's online. So we're going to get these in some water and get them ready to go on the canning jars. And this is just hot tap water. It's showtime! I get excited when I make pickles. And I'm going to start with this first bowl. And we're going to start loading these first 4 jars. They just came out of the canner, and I just drained the water off of them. I've got some more on the counter. It still has hot water in them because I want to keep the jars as hot as possible. We're going to work through this rather quickly. I'll come back in and fill in spaces if I need to with pickles. So 7 pounds would give you 7 pints of pickles. 14 pounds will give you 7 quarts, or thereabouts. That's got a big gap in it. So I'm basically filling these up to the neck, which is right there on my jars. And we're going to start putting these hot brine in these jars. And right now, I got my spoon back there. Mother always taught me to go very slowly when putting hot liquids into jars, regardless of whether the jars are hot or not. But the rule of thumb is hot jars, hot food, and a hot bath or pressure canner. The cucumbers are not hot. They are room temperature. We're going to get these filled up really, really quick. And then I'm going to pop them into the canner as soon as I get them cleaned up and ready to go, because I want to get as many jars done as possible with this brine, get them in that hot bath, and let them sit there until I have all my jars filled, and then I'm going to start my canner. Right now I have my burner turned down, and I will turn it back up once I have the majority of the jars in there. I want to keep my water hot. And the juice in these jars will go down as I work the debubbler. So you're going to go around your jar and in the middle and just kind of push in there and make sure you're getting all those bubbles loose. And in the middle. And my juice is going down. You want all your pickles in your brine. And this will release any of those air pockets that might be in there, because that can cause spoilage when canning. So you want to try to get as much of that out of there. And I need a little bit more in each one of my jars because I'm going to a 1/2 inch. Okay, we have a full canner, and this is what we have left to can. So I'm going to get some more jars sterilized and get this brine going while I'm working on this canner. This has to come to a full rolling boil over here And once it comes to a full rolling boil, I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. My timer just went off, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner down. Get this lid off. You always open your lid away from you because of the steam. And I store my lid in my oven because it's so big. That way it's out of my way and I don't have to worry about it burning me or anything like that. I'm going to pull out a mat and try not to touch that pot too much with the mat. And I'm going to start removing my jars. You don't tilt them, you just carefully pick them up and set them down. While these were processing, we had a storm blow up, and I prayed that the power didn't go out because I didn't want to be halfway through my canning process and not be able to finish canning my pickles. This is when I wish my husband was home from work. Gives his shoulders a workout. Now, the second batch that I'm going to do, I've got to sterilize my jars, and I'm just going to do pint jars for the rest of them. There's not a whole lot left, and those will be for people that would like a jar of my homemade pickles. And I'm just going to set a little towel here in the front so that I can get the rest of these jars out. One more jar. Want those shoulders, get them loosened up. And I think I'm going to have to move jar down just a tad. There we go. 15 quarts, y'all. And that's so far. I'm going to end my video here. I'm going to finish up the rest of them off camera. But I think we did a fairly good job today. Or I should say over the last 3 days. Don't they look delicious? Y'all, look how pretty they look. Oh my goodness. They will rest on the counter 12 to 24 hours, then I will remove the bands, check the seals, wash the jars, and put them away. Did you hear the ping? Well, everybody, that's it for the day. I am done, and I'm so thankful that we have Pickles on our shelf for the next 2 years, and what a blessing. May you be fully blessed.